Ladies and gentlemen, yes, this is your favorite show, Sports Unfolded, with your favorite hosts, Eric and Ron.
Hey, welcome to the best sports podcast on the planet, Sports Unfolded, where we bring you all of the hottest weekly sports topics. I am your host, Eric. My main man right over there, Ron. How are you tonight?
Oh, I cannot wait to get this rolling.
It's going to be a fun show.
Didn't come fast enough. We were so impatient.
A lot to talk about. A lot to talk about with New England. We are going to ask, though, if you are live and would like to talk about anything, please just join the chat. Let us know what you want to talk about, and we'll gladly do that. As long as it's not politics or religion, we'll talk. We'll have some fun. Doesn't necessarily have to be sports either. So, Ron, how much longer do we got to wait for your punishment? Is tonight the night?
No, unfortunately, the hat is not here yet.
Oh, I think I feel a scam coming on. I feel like somebody's trying to back out of it.
No, it comes in on the 17th.
All right.
I don't know. It's weird because that company that delivers everything, can seem to get, what you want for Christmas, just days before Christmas, right? When you order it days before, you still get it for Christmas. Now, all of a sudden, I got to wait 2-3 weeks for this sucker.
James, thanks for joining us live. Hey, my man James on tonight. All right. Wild card weekend it is. We are going to have some fun talking about some NFL football. Got a lot to cover. We got to talk some Bruins tonight. We're going to talk some Miami Heat. So we got a lot to cover. We're going to start off, though, with our leadoff story, Ron, and that is, if you don't know Kenny, thanks for joining us live as well. If you don't realize that we've got a little bit of a change here in New England. So the New England Patriots have fired Bill Belichick and hired Gerard Mayo to replace him. Ron, we've got a lot to talk about with this and cover. So I'm going to let you start before I go on my rant, because I am definitely, Kenny's mad so much in the NFL, right? It's been a crazy coaching in general. Let's just say this before we even start this conversation, Ron. Nick Saban, probably one of the greatest coaches in college football history.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll, who's been doing it quite some time, the only coach in football history to win both an NCAA title and an NFL Super Bowl. Yeah. And now Bill Belichick, who's won 6 titles, most all time in NFL history. Like, we lost or some changes in coaching in the last couple days here. That's been incredible.
Yeah, I'm interested into really finding out a little more behind the scenes of that Seattle thing.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll come out at some point as well.
Because I find it kind of weird that he's gone. I didn't expect that. That's the one move. Well, it's probably the only move that I see that happened that I really didn't expect.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that after, because again, we'll start with this lead off because obviously this is a little bit closer to home here with
it hits home all right.
Belichick and Gerard Mayo as the replacement. I guess we'll start. Do you want to start with the Bill Belichick situation? What did you think about the firing and how it went down?
Yeah,
people throwing stuff over there. They're so upset.
Yeah. I got some crazed fans, that's been messaging Rhode Island Broadcasting all day.
You gotta get security, bro. Got to get security.
Yeah. So, look, I find it interesting that they were ready to sign that deal right away. Obviously, it was planned for some time. And, Robert Kraft, say what you want. He's a businessman, and I'm sure he knows what he's doing, right? But all the information was probably leaked way earlier than it needed to be. I mean, Bill Belichick is still the greatest coach that's ever coached in the NFL. right? And I know, yeah, he was probably fired, but they made it all nice little bow tie and mutual walking away, blah, blah, blah. But you have a leak somewhere. Somebody in your office, Robert Kraft, is leaking information. And just saying, I knew a long time ago, just saying.
Well, they did discuss it last year that they re-signed Mayo.
Yep.
The expectation was he re-signed with New England to replace Bill Belichick eventually. James, greatest coach of all time, and you don't shop, right? You don't shop him. You didn't try to get a draft pick. That was an opportunity there. That again, I think New England blew because it should have been something where at least see what teams are interested. We've got a real fun pick and roll with this afterwards on which team would most likely be the best spot for Bill Belichick to land. We'll do that later in the show. But as I start here, Ron, and you're going to have to give me a minute because I questioned them firing Bill Belichick from the beginning. I kept telling you that I believe it's a mistake. And I'm not saying because I don't think the team's heading in a direction that can be different. You could see the writings on the wall. My issue becomes now is the New England Patriots, basically, you fire a guy that's won 6 Super Bowls, who's declined the last 4 years, to replace him with a guy that's been there for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to discredit Gerard Mayo, and I'm not saying he wouldn't be a great coach. He knows nothing but the New England Patriots way. He's never been to San Francisco or Houston or Baltimore and said, hey, look, this is some of the ways they did it. I'm going to incorporate some of this now in New England.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's the thing. You're absolutely right on that.
And that's why I said I believe this was a mistake. If you didn't have a clear-cut answer to replace Bill Belichick or say, hey, Bill, we're going to give you 1 more year. You have the 3rd most amount of money cap space-wise to spend $75 million to build this team back and show Gerard how to win with a solid team. And then you replace him with Gerard Mayo. At least I would have said he knows how to win. He's not seen anything but losing. They've had 3 out of 4 losing seasons since Gerard Mayo's been a coach in New England.
Yeah. See, my thought, Eric, is it is obvious more than ever before that without a quarterback, you cannot win in this league. You can't win. You have to have a quarterback. Okay. Now, saying that, Belichick had the gift of Brady for 2 decades.
19 years, yes.
And it doesn't take away that he still knows how to coach. I mean, we know he knows how to coach. The one knock on him that I've been on is personnel. It's personnel. The guy is a genius when it comes to the defensive side of the ball. Genius. Okay? And when it comes to finding talent on the offense, that's a little lacking. And that's why he should have had some help, maybe getting some good quality scouting. And I don't know what the scouting situation is. I don't know who he's listening to when he drafts and when he goes out and gets guys off the scrap heap, because he's done that pretty well throughout the years. But the last few years, it hasn't been there. And this, to me, screams that he didn't have enough people on the staff. When you start not putting coordinators into place and putting people that aren't supposed to be in that type of role, and when you do it in the coaching staff, it's really glaring. When you don't have an offensive coordinator, when you don't designate somebody as a defensive coordinator, and you don't have these people in place, you have to do more. And with his age getting up there in the years, he can't do more. And that, to me, is where the team has been breaking down because of that reason. He doesn't have the ability to do the little things like he used to do because he doesn't have the time to do it.
Yeah,
and that's what's the problem.
Yeah, and I think, again, you said it. He tries to retread these coaches, right? You bring back
Yeah.
Josh McDaniels, you'd bring back, Matt Patricia, you bring back Joe Judge, you bring back all these guys that failed somewhere else. You want them to come back here, and guess what? There was one piece missing, and that was Brady. Brady, in some way, made those coaches better,
Yeah.
and that was an issue. So I agree with you there. Again, how did they incorporate that? Listen, this was a power struggle from the end of that Jets game. We knew that this was, regardless of how they decided to do it with the press conference and they were together and they tried to make it seem like it was amicable. It wasn't.
No, it's clearly a firing, but they wanted to put a nice little bow on it, because it's Belichick and he deserves that. And I get that.
Yeah, but I think at the end of the day, he either decided he wasn't going to give up certain pieces of the puzzle because he wants to have total control. And unfortunately, I think that's where the business side, Robert Kraft, said, look, it's just not going to work. I got the 3rd pick overall.
Yeah.
I can't blow this now, because if you blow this pick, you're done for the next 5 to 10 years, because who knows when you're going to get a high pick like that again. So I see it. But let me say, 24 years, 266 wins, 121 losses with New England, a 687 win percentage, 30-12 in the playoffs. Remarkable record. 71% in the playoffs, 6-time Super Bowl champ, 3-time AP Coach of the Year, 3-time PFWA Coach of the Year, 2-time sports. Okay, hold on. I'm getting there.
No. I'm telling people.
3-time Sports Nation Coach of the Year, 2021, believe it or not, PFWA Executive of the Year.
Yeah,
that was the Mac Jones pick. So he thought he was. I think people that Bill became too stagnant. Yeah, listen, I'm not, and you're 100% right. He did want yes men.
Yeah,
but the problem isn't Gerard Mayo the same guy that was saying yes to him? Yeah. What's changed? This is why I said it from the beginning. They were going to make a mistake with this.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Gerard Mayo can't coach. What I'm saying is this. You got a rookie coach now who knows nothing but Bill Belichick. Your thought process would be, if you get lucky and hit right, you get a rookie quarterback that's actually pretty good. And you hope that whatever he's learned from Belichick, now he can carry it through. The problem is, we've seen it where it's gone really well when you get a rookie quarterback, and we've seen it when it goes really bad.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson did not work with the Jets. Sorry. Rookie coach, rookie quarterback, didn't work.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud and Ryan D'Amico has worked out great. But again, it's how who's going to be. My biggest question is this, Ron. The only way this becomes right, who is the general manager? Who is going to make the decisions to pick the players? Because it's not going to be Gerard Mayo.
Right, and that's why it doesn't make any sense hiring the coach first. Hiring the head coach first doesn't mean anything, because the GM is going to come in and they don't have a say.
Yeah,
listen, you have to have a say.
You should have had the GM in first.
Yep.
Pick a guy that you feel is going to be able to get the players you draft to be successful on the field. You've just done what you've done to this GM now is say, look, Gerard Mayo's our guy. Period. He's still making the decisions. At the end of the day, you could say you have a GM. It's going to be Gerard Mayo's decision, who's, again, not a player personnel guy, not a guy that knows the offensive side of the ball. So how is he judging that talent?
Right.
And New England's problem wasn't defense.
No.
So you get a defensive-minded coach to come in to run what now?
Yeah, no, it's like you said, it is going to be a lot of the same. And here's the problem that I have with this. All right, so you had this master plan of having Gerard Mayo, but you don't put any of the other pieces in place. Okay? So you need to put those pieces into place. Who's this going to be his staff, for one? Who's he going to get? Is Steve Belichick going to stay, or is he going to follow Dad everywhere?
He's going with Dad.
Yeah.
Bill O'Brien, who's a head coach, but wants to be a head coach again. came to New England. You're going to keep him as you can't make Josh McDaniels because he's probably going with Belichick.
Yeah.
Joe Judge is going with Belichick. So again, who's his staff? What's the offensive side of the ball look like? Absolutely horrible. I agree with you, James. It was predetermined. We know that.
Yeah.
And again, Jonathan is slowly putting his footprints on this team. But if he felt this was the best decision for this team to get the same guy,
I'm not even saying
the
this
same
is a
role.
bad hiring. I'm not saying it's a bad hiring. I think it's a bad timing of the hiring. I think
Ron,
in order for it to get right, you have to have the GM first.
And I will ask you this. This is my last question. We'll move on because I'm going to get pissed off. Let me ask you this question. What was Gerard Mayo's role last year with the New England Patriots?
Was he a linebackers coach?
We don't even know what he did for the team. Did he help run the defense? Did he not? Did he just run the linebackers? Wasn't he assistant coach? Was he not?
I don't know.
We don't even know what he's done.
You're not a coordinator. So to me, I don't hire anybody that's not a coordinator first.
Just absolutely.
And I'm not, like I said, I'm not taking away his abilities. I don't know. It's going to be a wait and see kind of thing with Gerard Mayo, just like every other coach, right? It's a wait and see. And we saw train wrecks after train wrecks with the coaches in the last couple of years. I mean, we saw it in Denver. We saw it everywhere, right?
Yeah, Carolina.
I fear this could be one of those, and it could set the franchise back a decade.
And this is my point, Ron. This is where, when I told you that they need to fight, you were all about firing Belichick. Fire Belichick. Fire Belichick, right? He needs to go. He needs to go. Yeah. This is going to be the problem. Because if they go 4-13 again next season, you're going to sit back and go, at least we would have had Bill for one more year to just get through this really bad and find a guy. That's not what happened now. So now you got nobody to blame but yourself because you wanted this. You did. We can go back and rewind, watch the tapes because you just said it. It's probably going to be the same. And if you're a 4-13 team with Gerard Mayo, what do you do at that point? Is he gone?
Well,
you rebuild again?
Again, Eric, it's one of those things that, like I said, you needed a GM. And let the GM 100%. Do it. Because this is Jerry Jones all over again, right? Now now Bob Kraft thinks that he knows football? Is that what it is? Because that's the appearance I'm getting. Bob Kraft made a decision on who the coach is going to be.
It should have been a GM. You go and say, Miami, I'm plucking one of your guys. Right? Or you go to San Francisco, I'm plucking one of your guys. Number one offenses, top offenses. Now you look at it and say, okay, this is a coach that I know can run the offense and be a factor. No, what you're going to do is try to get an offensive-minded GM to have a defensive coach try to coach an offense. I think we saw this before with some guy named Matt Patricia trying to coach an offense, and you just did it again. Jerry would not have done it better. I don't believe in that either.
Yeah, because he got McCarthy.
He got rid of Jimmy Johnson, which shouldn't have happened because he thought he knew football better. How's that worked out for Dallas? Let's not do this, James, tonight.
Yeah, no, that's why I made the comparison to insult Kraft.
All right, we're gonna move on because listen.
I mean, this is a conversation that it's going to keep evolving.
Yeah, and the more we hear, the more we learn.
I don't know. It's just worrisome. Like I'm not saying Gerard Mayo's not going to do a good job. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is you got to get the people in place in the GM spot. You got to get that scouting team. That all has to be put together. Everything has to be put together. You got to have a plan because right now. This is not a plan. This is just, okay, Gerard Mayo's our coach. And what do we do now?
I'm gonna question, first of all, yes, they won a Super Bowl afterwards with Jimmy Johnson's team and added free agency
with
like
that.
Dion and all those guys, right? Yeah, so no, yeah, clearly, right? Let's go there. And then Kenny, I would say Mike Vrabel. I don't know if that would have been the answer either. Again, defensive-minded coach. New England's problem is not defense. And I don't think they couldn't find guys on that side of the ball as a defensive coordinator that's already been here and learned something from Bill. They need a guy that's going to come in here and run a Miami Dolphins offense that we've never seen before because we don't have that kind of coordinator. Our coordinators have all been the same throughout this. If you look at Charlie Weiss, Bill O'Brien, Josh McDaniels, they were all running about the same offense. You need a guy that's going to come in here and run a completely different offense and change the identity of this team.
Does this mean we're going to get Charlie Weiss back? Because we've had all the others twice.
Yeah, I don't think Weiss wants to come back anyway, but I don't know. All right. Great conversation. We'll continue to cover this as the story unfolds. Obviously, the draft becomes very interesting. I'm sure we'll get, as soon as we get that GM piece figured out, we'll be discussing that as well. But let's talk about another big one, and that was Pete Carroll. So Pete Carroll no longer with the Seattle Seahawks after 14 years, 137, 89, and 1 overall with the Seahawks, 10 and 9 in the playoffs.
Tired.
Two NFC championships, 1 Super Bowl championship, should have been 2. He blew the last one. But I will say this, Ron. I don't think he wanted to go because there's still talk that he's trying to get a coaching job. This was more about, I think, the team saying, look, the last 3 years, 7 and 10, 9 and 8, 9 and 8, 2 of those years you missed the playoffs. Yes, your energy's great, but they have some talent. They've got a very good receiving, squad there. They've got some okay running backs, a good offensive line. They've got some pieces. This was more about the Seahawks again, probably saying, "Look, I'm looking what San Francisco's doing, Miami's doing, some of those offenses, and saying, how can I make my guys be able to do that?" And I don't know if Pete Carroll had the ability to do that. So. My thought process would be does he get another job at 73? And who would hire him?
Look, there's some teams out there that have just been a mess, right? I'm sure somebody would want him, and look, I remember when he first was with New England. And I couldn't wait for him to be gone. But he developed into a pretty damn good coach for the NFL.
College. Yeah, but it took him the college run to make him a better NFL coach.
Right. And that's growth, right? And that's what you want. And, generally speaking, the second time around, a coach will have an easier time because now they've been there, done that. And they know what to do. And that's why, like Kenny said, I was really hoping for Vrabel, to be honest with you. And he had a chance to do it out in Tennessee. But again, he didn't have a quarterback over there either. And you see what happens when you don't have a quarterback.
Vrabel might be a good fit for Seattle.
Vrabel would be tough,
right? That may be a good.
Vrabel's going to be fine. He's going to get a job. Probably
he's definitely going to get a job. Yeah, he'll get a job without a doubt. Again, Pete Carroll, listen, if you ran the ball, I don't think, as a New England Patriot fan, I'll tell you right now, you would have had 2 championships. Yes. And I think that haunted them ever since. Because then the Legion of Boom kind of, started to fade. You saw a lot of, dysfunction start to happen, and they never were able to get back. And
he almost did last year.
Yeah, but a lot of teams questioned, or a lot of his players, questioned that move.
Yeah.
And I don't think and I don't think he ever got past it. I know it's been almost 10 years, but I don't think nobody forgot that play.
No.
Nobody. And it's because Marshawn Lynch was running right through the Patriots defense, and you're 2 yards away from taking a lead, and you decide to throw the ball.
I would like Pete Carroll to try some broadcasting, to be honest with
you. Yeah, he'd probably be a fun one.
I'd like to hear the knowledge that he does have.
Yeah.
Because obviously in this game for this long, the man knows the game probably better than almost everybody. And I'd like to hear that knowledge in the broadcast booth somewhere, whether it's on one of the pregame shows or whatever it may
or
be.
on Sports Unfolded. Pete, you want to
Sports
join us?
Come on.
Pete Carroll, come on down. Let us know. We'll get you on the show. Anybody want to put those feelers out there for Pete Carroll? Let us know. All right, Ron.
Hashtag Pete Carroll.
Hell yeah. Let's
Look
look
at
at this
right there.
wild card weekend. This is going to be some fun football. We're going to talk about each game just a little bit. We will do our predictions at the end of the show. If you are joining us live and you want to predict some of the games that getting on our prediction chart, make sure you stay with us for the entire show. So, Ron, let's start off with the Saturday games. You got the Browns at the Texans. What are you looking for in this game?
I'm looking for Stroud to get some experience.
Right? Very important. And then Flacco, can he do enough to get the Browns back, not even back, to a Super Bowl?
Look, Joe Flacco is the epitome of what you need when you have a great defense, right? When you have a great defense, all you need is a quarterback that doesn't make mistakes. You don't need flash. You don't need, those
my point for New England
that go on forever.
That's it. Running game,
decent
wide receiver, a guy that's going to be able to get the ball to the players he needs to and not turn it over. Joe Flacco doing that right now for the Browns.
Absolutely.
I love their defense. For him. And I'm happy. Listen, the crazy part of this, Ron? Even if the Texans lose, fourth most money in cap space going into next season. Think about what they can build.
That's crazy.
And have for the next 5 years or so. So, very interesting. That's going to be a fun game.
Receiver and lineman.
Yeah. This game, Dolphins at Chiefs. Right now, they're saying could be a record-breaking cold for this game. It might be like minus 35 or something insane.
Yeah, that's bad for Miami.
Very bad. They haven't beaten they beat Dallas in that weird game, but other than that, they haven't really beat.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
They're not at home.
Yeah, vanilla ice.
Tell me that Miami didn't throw away the season.
Absolutely. You had a 3-game lead going in. You win the division. You're the second. They would have been the second seed. Everybody's traveling to you except the number 1 seed in Baltimore.
Yeah.
And now you're on the road in a very hostile environment with
going against Patrick
Mahomes, right? So again, I listen. The only difference is the offense is going to be different for both of these teams. You're not going to be able to sling the ball all over the place. It's going to be a running game. It may benefit Miami that way, but again, how much of it they're going to want to deal with coming from Miami going to Kansas City? My advice, I would have went up already. I probably would have been up there Wednesday, and I said, get used to the cold. Like, stop feeling it. Because, guys, you don't want to get there Saturday and minus 30 hits you from leaving from Miami at 70.
Belichick would have had his players up in Alaska doing the Iditarod.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Something. Yeah, I like Miami's run game better, James. I agree with you. But, I'm again, we're doing our predictions at the end. You're picking the under in that game without a doubt. Yeah, if you're a gambler, which we are not, but if you are, I mean, I don't expect that game to have many points.
That ball is going to feel like steel when like those passes are zipping along. Oh, my God. When those hit your hands are going to just break.
I will say this, Ron. You may get some air deflation because of the cold. I mean, I know that's crazy. It doesn't happen in the NFL, but that could happen. Just let you guys know. Steelers at Bills.
Yeah.
The funny thing.
Hard to believe that the Steelers are there, right?
Exactly. Listen, Mike Tomlin's the longest tenured coach now in the NFL.
Yeah.
But he's only won it once, right? Or twice. Has he won it twice? I think he won it twice. But even that, like, you think about, I know they beat Green Bay. Am I missing one? Oh, in Arizona. Yeah, so they had 2. Right? So, but I just question him in the playoffs. He doesn't do very well. And you cannot tell me that Buffalo's not surging right now.
Oh,
like Buffalo, they've got confidence.
Fire.
Another game that's cold. Snow, they're saying winds up to 60 miles per hour. It's going to be insane.
Yeah. I'll take Josh Allen all day.
Yeah, I was saying this too. Mason Rudolph does not give me the warm and fuzzies
No.
when it comes to, like, if that was my quarter, if New England said tomorrow, hey, we're signing Mason Rudolph, I may as well just give up.
If it was a
on
snowstorm,
And
then
Rudolph, and
I'd
he
have
needed to
faith
get
in Rudolph.
There we go. I like what you did there. I like what you did there. That, by far, I think is the easiest one to call. But again, we will predict at the end of the show. By far, the most intriguing matchup of this weekend has to be Rams at Lions. Quarterback versus quarterback. You got rid of me, and now I'm coming back to see who I can beat. This is going to be a very fun game.
Yeah.
Stafford has something in the back pocket saying, I want to beat them. Matt Stafford. And then you still look at Jared Goff, who's obviously gotten the Rams to the Super Bowl and had success. How does this game play out? To me, defense has to be the key for both of these teams. Who can stop which offense?
Yeah, I'm not very confident in Detroit's defense.
Rams, much better either, right? They're good, but I so much fun though. Can the Lions end this drought, Ron? Like again, no playoff wins. Like how long? Like it's time.
That's just it. That what you're saying right now is what they're hearing from everybody. They're hearing it from everywhere, everybody. And it's gonna be in the back of their heads when they're on that field, and then Goff has to make a play. And I'm not feeling very confident.
Yeah, imagine you're looking over at the other side of the field, and the fans still love Stafford.
Yeah,
like it. So, like if he's playing well, do you not think you'll start to hear some cheers? Or, and now it gets awkward because if you make a mistake, right, do they boo you? And it's like. So, yeah, psychologically, I think very fun matchup. The one, though, that I will say this, you may need a shrink for is the next matchup. And that's the Packers at the Cowboys. Because, I can't wait. James, come on, James. Come on. Feed me, James. I'm going to do Zeke for you. Feed me. Because you can't tell me if this game in the fourth quarter is a 3-point game, you trust Mike McCarthy to make the right decisions to win the football game.
No.
I mean, you will have people literally calling hotlines because there's no reason why the Cowboys at home don't beat the Packers.
Do you remember the beginning of the season when we did the preview show?
Yeah.
And we said Dallas has a great team.
They do.
But when it comes time for the playoffs, that's where the problem is going to be, and the problem is going to be on the sideline with McCarthy. And if this game is close, forget it. Dallas, you might as well just shut the TVs off and just go about your day because it's not going to end pretty if it's a close game.
Think about how Green Bay and Jordan Love in that situation.
I love it. I'm so happy for Jordan Love. So happy.
I can remember I am excited if the Cowboys win or lose this weekend. Really? James would be excited if they lose. You know why? Because you know what happens? I mean, the rumor mill will swirl all around that Bill Belichick's going to Dallas.
Oh, yeah. If Dallas loses this game, McCarthy is fired and Belichick will be the coach.
Yeah. So another interesting matchup, Ron, because the same scenario could happen. Eagles at Bucks.
Yes.
A lot of talk that Sirianni could be out if they lose. Yeah. And again, Belichick's name is tied to that. Again, both two established teams that may only need a coach to get them to a Super Bowl.
If one of those teams lose, he's going to there.
Is that not insane, though, to think about where the Eagles were at the beginning of the year to where they are now?
You know what's
They
funny?
Are completely different.
How crazy would it be? And I don't think this is going to happen by no means, but I just think it's funny. If Tampa Bay loses, right? What if they fire their head coach? Could you imagine if Bill Belichick went to Tampa Bay too?
Yeah, it'd be I don't,
Just
it'd be
saying.
weird.
Just
But
throwing it
again,
out there.
it could happen. Listen, they're saying a lot of things could happen based off of this playoffs too. I don't think Belichick signs till after this weekend even
No,
looks at
no, no. He
because
won't
he's
sign
gonna
yet.
one of these teams may be in play for a coach.
Now,
And
if
and
Philly and Dallas both lose, Belichick won't be signed for a little bit.
and think about this,
They'll
dude.
be fighting over him.
Philly's a mess right now. Jalen Hurts is hurt. Like he's having trouble throwing the ball because he's got something with the finger. AJ Brown didn't practice. You know, they're in trouble.
Yeah.
And they have that momentum going in the wrong direction.
Doesn't the losing team most often never really get back to it?
It's very tough. And they got to go on the road. As
I mean,
crazy
we
as
saw
it
what
sounds.
happened with Cincinnati, right? Joe Burrow hasn't been back.
Tampa Bay has a good defense. Listen, it's all up to Baker. Don't make mistakes.
Yeah.
Play smart football. You could probably get out of this thing with a win.
Could you imagine? Oh my God. Could you imagine if Baker Mayfield takes Tampa Bay
to a Super Bowl? Oh, you forget it. Because we talked about signing him here. You remember? We're like, no way, we don't want him. Now look. All right, my friend. Yeah. Belichick ain't going to Philly if Dallas isn't playing. Good for him. No, I'm not saying. Listen, I think it's going to be who gives them the most offer and the most power. You got to remember something about Dallas. There's one guy there that has all the power.
Yeah.
Belichick may not want that. Remember, Bill Parcells went there and it didn't work because again, Bill wanted the same thing. He wants control.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Belichick would weigh that as a factor if Philly was in play to say, I'll probably go to Philly because they're going to let me do what I want to do. And they're going to lose their defensive coordinator too, Dallas, by the end of this. Dan Quinn will be gone. All right, Ron, it is time for starting five.
I do have to say this was a pretty good one.
Our starting five Kevins. It has to be a Kevin. Ron, you are first this week. So please allow us to know your honorable mentions. Your honorable Kevins.
My honorable Kevins. All right. So what do we got? We have Kevin McHale.
I have Kevin McHale on mine.
Kevin Meyer.
No.
He's a decathlete.
Okay.
French decathlete. Kevin Brown.
Okay.
Pitcher, you know.
Yeah. Kevin Stefanski, coach of the year. Very good, James.
Kevin Lowe from the Edmonton Oilers.
Yes, I have him on mine.
And Kevin Mawai.
Kevin Mawai, I have on mine. Yes. So 3 of the 4 I had. I also had Kevin Johnson, Phoenix Suns point guard, 5 all NBAs. 17.9 points, 9.1 assists for his career. Not bad.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Kevin D. Browine is a Belgian Man United player, 143 goals in his career. And then I had Kevin Carter, 104.5 sacks in his career, 2 Pro Bowls and 1 All-Pro. So
good one. I missed that one.
Those were my honorable mentions. So we'll start off. Your number 5. Who's your number 5, Kevin?
Oh, I love this one because it is Kevin Williams. You remember Kevin Williams? Minnesota defensive tackle. You remember him?
Yeah.
Just an ordinary name, right? Nothing sticks out to you, but this guy was an animal. He was an animal. 63 sacks, 370 tackles, 10 forced fumbles, 5 interceptions, 4 touchdowns, 6 Pro Bowls, 5-time All-Pro. So, I mean, you're an All-Pro. I mean, you're the best at what you do.
Yeah.
Hall of Famer. I thought that was a shoo-in for number 5 for me.
Okay. Very good. Very good. I had at 5 Kevin Green. 160 sacks in his career, 23 forced fumbles.
Carolina Panther, if I'm not mistaken.
Panthers in Pittsburgh.
In Pittsburgh, right.
Pittsburgh, and then when the expansion draft, the Panthers picked them up.
Right.
160 sacks, 23 forced fumbles, 5 Pro Bowls, 2 All-Pros, 1 Defensive Player of the Year. So I went Kevin Green.
Yeah,
sadly, he passed away.
He should have been on my honorable mention.
Okay, so who do we got at 4, Ron?
Oh, number 4. You're gonna love this one, Eric. Kevin Harvick.
Okay.
NASCAR, right? This dude has 60 NASCAR wins. He's 10th all time in wins. That is saying something, right? I mean, to me, that was an easy one. I mean, you got 60 wins. 60 wins.
Yeah, no, very good. Very
That's incredible.
Yes, it was. It was. He's a little higher on my list. How the Kevin not make the list? Kevin McHale, look at his numbers, Brody.
Yeah.
I don't know what I think.
Yeah, it wasn't as good as I thought. I was
he's only had,
he was going to be top 3.
The crazy part, 7 All-Stars, but only 1 All-Pro.
Yeah.
He was only All-Pro once. All-NBA, sorry, All-NBA. All-NBA once, which is kind of crazy. Think about it.
And the fact that he was a 6th man at the end of his career, too.
Yeah.
So
2-time 6th man of the year. I had at 4 Kevin Brown. 211 wins, 144 losses. I was impressed with the ERA. 3.28 is not very bad.
I wanted him in.
Yeah. 2,397 strikeouts for his career. 6-time All-Star, 2-time ERA champion, and he had 1 championship. So I put him at 4.
Absolutely.
You two should be shamed.
I can see that.
Kenny, I will tell you this right now. We are not ashamed of ourselves. You know why? No. Because we put out quality lists and we take our time and research.
Right.
Research, my friend. Look at the numbers. Kevin McHale's numbers are not better than what we've done.
No.
All right,
because
3.
He's not even the third. He's the 3rd best Kevin in the NBA.
NBA, yes. Yep. And you'll see that. What do you got for 3?
Number 3, I got Kevin Garnett. And I struggled this because I would take Kevin Garnett over my number 2.
Oh, I can't wait to see who you got higher because I got Kevin Garnett higher. And Kenny, see, that's what I'm saying. Not even the best Kevin. He's the 3rd best. I had at 3 Kevin Harvick.
Yeah.
Not only did you talk about the 60 wins, Ron,
yep.
444 top 10 finishes.
Yeah.
444.
It's crazy, isn't it?
2-time NASCAR champion, too. 2-time NASCAR champion.
Yep.
Kevin Harvick, I had at 3.
Yeah. And I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah. Let's see. I can't wait for 1, 2, because yours, it's got to be different than mine.
Yeah.
So who do you have at 2?
I'm sure it's different. My number 2 is Kevin Durant. And like I said, I would probably take Kevin Garnett over him on my team just because of that grit.
Mm-hmm.
And Kevin Durant does not have that.
Yeah.
And I don't like Kevin Durant the last couple of years. But when you look at those numbers are insane.
Great numbers.
And he has won championships, so you can't discredit him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he won 2.
So, I mean, when you're talking, 27 points per game, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, I mean, 2-time champion, 13 All-Stars, 10 All-NBA, 1 MVP, 4-time scoring champ. He's also won a Rookie of the Year. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to argue with that, right?
I had Durant at 2 as well. I thought Kevin Durant, and I'm going to go a different route. We'll talk about it.
And like I said, I would take. It's weird because numbers wise, I put Durant ahead, but I would take Kevin Garnett. So
who's 1 for you?
So my number 1 is Kevin De Bruyne, soccer player.
143 goals.
Look, I looked at let's look at the accolades, what this guy brings. He's a captain everywhere he goes, right?
James always comes up with a guy. Kevin Remolade, one of the best in curling. I love James.
I do too. James. James even pushes me because I find these people, right?
Yeah, Jay, we got to get you on starting 5 every week. Because I don't know where you come up with these guys. They're awesome.
No, he looked up curling.
Yeah,
he's good. He's good. I know the guy. But Kevin De Bruyne, 5 Premier titles,
Mhm.
a UEFA Championships League winner, 5 League Cups, 2 FA Cups, Player of the Season twice in the Premier League. And he is tied for the record in assists. He's considered one of the best players of all time.
Yeah, agreed.
And
That's
I put him at number 1.
He was at my
He's a
he was
champion. He wins championships.
he was at my cusp. He was at the cusp, but I went Kevin Garnett.
Yeah.
And I
And
went
that's not a wrong answer either, Eric.
2 reasons. 15 All-Stars, right? So you think about it over the career, but 12 all defensive. You know how I am.
Oh my God, that defensive.
Like the man would shut anybody down.
Look, when it comes to grit
and teammate, what a great teammate he was.
Oh, there's no one better. There's no one better. You know, you need those guys to win championships. You need those guys.
I'm all choked up thinking about it. Right?
I am, because Kevin Garnett is top notch.
Oh, I love it. I love it. All right, great list. Anybody out there want to recommend next week's what we can do? Let us know and just chime in on the chat. We are going to talk some NBA, Ron, though. And Eric Spoelstra got a big contract extension. Yeah. Would you consider him the best coach in the NBA today?
Look, I don't know if it's best, but I'd be hard-pressed to try to find one that's better, because when you look at his roster compared to those teams that always have these beefed-up super teams.
Exactly.
I think he's fantastic.
And if you give him a beefed-up
top 3, and there's an argument for him to be the best.
Yeah. If you look at beefing up a team, he wins. He won championships with LeBron, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade because he had a super team, right? And they kind of don't do that now. Jimmy Butler's the number 1 guy now, and there's not a lot around him.
And he got him there.
And he got him to the finals. 725 and 507 in his career. So 58% win percentage. So very good. 109 and 75 in the playoffs, 59%.
And I'm sorry, when your best player is Jimmy Butler, no knock on Jimmy Butler.
Yeah,
but he's not a superstar. And when he's your best player and you can go to a championship, you're a great coach. I'm sorry, there's no sort of thing about it.
16 seasons, he's won the Eastern Conference 6 times, 2 championships. So here's some of the guys that they have said are possibly in that top 4. And I want to see if you would put him ahead of them. And this might get our argument to where we need it to get to. Mike Malone, Denver Nuggets.
Ahead
of him, right?
Yep.
Steve Kerr. Think about what Golden State looks like now, right? They're not as good. Think about it.
Yeah.
You just said it. The talent level is much better in Golden State.
Yeah.
And they're not winning.
Yeah. I'd give him the edge.
Right? Greg Popovich. Think about this too, though. We just criticized Bill Belichick. Been there too long, done right?
Yeah.
You're saying the same thing with Pop.
And I think I'd you know what? I think he is the best coach.
He's the best coach in the league right now. It's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Right? But he would probably be the best coach. 8 years, $120 million deal, most committed money in North American history for a coach. Eric Spoelstra.
So that messes up your list from last week.
Yeah, kind of crazy now. Think about this too, Ron, though. He just got divorced. If you want to talk about a great organization, Miami Heat, they waited till the divorce was final, so then you didn't have to pay. How great is that as an organization?
That's a top-notch organization.
Right? Hold back, buddy. Hold
back. Who runs that organization over
Pat
there?
Riley.
Right.
Great job.
God, is he good or what?
It's phenomenal. If you want to join Pat Riley, the show, let us know. We'd love to talk to Pat Riley as well.
Oh, my God. I don't know what it is. It's like Pat Riley was always on the team that you hated, right? Always on the team you hated, but you loved Pat Riley.
Because he just does so many good things.
Right.
So many good things. Crazy to think about.
Smooth.
Right? How smart is that? Be like, oh, when you get divorced? When is it finalized? The decree came in? Okay, bang. 8 years, $120 million. There you go, buddy. Whew. All right, let's talk some Major League Baseball. And I probably lost some Christmas cards from the New England Patriots, and I'm going to lose some from the New York Yankees now as well. Because does the Marcus Stroman signing help the New York Yankees rotation?
All right. I know you're going to probably butcher him, but I looked at his numbers, and, last year was not particularly great.
10-9, 10-9 last year.
10-9, 3.95.
Yep.
But if he does that same ERA, he's
Mhm.
going to get more wins because that offense is much better.
Phenomenal. Great.
And I think he can have a pretty good season.
Yeah. So again, this continues to prove to me that the New York Yankees have no desire to get back to winning baseball. That's what this move did. Because you signed a guy whose lifetime record is 77 and 76. Wow, that excites me. I am pumped now that you got a 500 pitcher, 3.65 ERA. Do you know the 11 games he's pitched in Yankee Stadium? And I'm not saying he wasn't going against top talent, but he is 2-6 with a 6.06 ERA. He can't pitch in New York.
No, he can't.
So now you add him to the only guy in the rotation, Garrett Cole. Carlos Rondon was an absolute wreck last year, and if he doesn't come back, they're in trouble. Now you put Stroman as your third best with Nestor Cortez and Clark Schmidt. I am loving this rotation. This was a great move by the New York Yankees. Let's just not even play the season, give them the trophy. This is an absolute asinine move. Asinine. This does not benefit them at all. This does not make you better. This does not make you compete with the top teams in the league. Shut up and spend money. Spend money. How do the Dodgers spend over $1 billion? You get Stroman for 2 years, $37 million. Play your option, Ron. Now kick this too. Play your option for the third year, $18 million. If he pitches 140 innings this season. No, in 2025. I'm sorry. The last 2 seasons, 136 and 138. He would just miss it. He's not even, the guy can't even pitch 140 innings. This is an absolute horrible call. Horrible signing. This is why Cashman had to go, and they're not doing it. Aaron Boone's not a good coach. You're running it back with the same garbage, and then you're hoping a guy that struggled the back half of last year to be the third best starter in your rotation. It's a joke. Absolute joke.
The fact that his ERA isn't as bad as a lot of other pitchers in the league.
It's 6.06 in Yankee
but you're
Stadium.
Also on a better team. I mean, he pitched in Chicago. The Cubs, really? You're going to compare the Yankees to the Cubs? He's going to have so much more protection.
How do you figure? Aaron Judge is out half the year. Stanton's out half the year.
Soto.
You got Soto now. You better hope he just signed a record deal. $31 million arbitration. Highest ever. I can't. Forget it. For a guy that you may not even get to keep.
He's going to have a good season, I'm telling you. Mama Lizzie.
We'll join you on Discord. You could join us on Discord. Absolutely. Hey, if you enjoy it, keep on watching. Keep on watching. All right, Ron, we're done with Major League Baseball. 10-7 on the Christmas cards. I'm getting close. I love it.
Yeah, I've been a little soft.
Yeah, you've been soft today. You've been soft today. And I really expected you to take shots at Kraft today, and you didn't do it. I'm a little disappointed in you.
I did do it.
You didn't do enough of that. You of all people. Come on, Ron. You're a lot tougher than that.
Well, because I kind of agree with letting Bill Belichick go.
For Gerard Mayo.
Well, not for Gerard Mayo.
Okay, then. Say it. Be a man about it.
I did say it.
No, you didn't. You're kind of skirting it. All right. Let's do our split decisions. Split decisions are 2 more likely questions that we have for each other, and we got to make a decision on them. So, Ron, you are first. Your first split decision.
Okay. I got some good ones for you. Seeming we just did baseball.
Baseball.
Of the 3.
Okay.
Who is more likely to win 12 games? Just 12.
Just 12. Okay.
12 games.
Gotcha.
Lucas Giolito of the Boston Red Sox, who just signed for $38.5 million for 2 years. Marcus Stroman, who just signed with the Yankees for $37 million.
Yeah.
Or Michael Wacha.
Waka.
Who signed with KC for $32 million for 2 years.
So Waka's out because KC is still, they're not. Okay. So it's between Giolito and Stroman. And that's not fair. You set me up on this one because Stroman's clearly going to win 12 games with the Yankees. I don't know what's going on in Boston. Who's your best player now?
Still Devers.
Who's not okay? So I digress. It's Stroman. Stroman's going to win 12 games. At least he'll be out of them. I will give Giolito the second nod though over Wacha.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Wacha could win 12.
He could. I mean, but Kansas City's tough.
I think he's the best pitcher of the three.
Yeah, Kansas City. Yeah, but Kansas City's tough. Same thing you were saying about the Cubs with Stroman, right? Kansas City don't have a lot. So we'll see. That's good.
That's how I set you up because I knew you were going to be all over Stroman.
After I just, and now I got to, okay. All right, here's my first. Ron, who is more likely, more likely that Bill O'Brien, Josh McDaniels, or New England brings a new coach in to be offensive coordinator next season?
New coach,
even though Bill O'Brien's still under contract.
Yeah.
Okay. So you think they bring in somebody new? Okay. Trey Brown running.
Julian Edelman.
Can't wait. Bring Jules back. That's all we're going to do is rebring. They're going to all these players.
Tell me that isn't what they're thinking, though.
Let's just bring all these players in. All right.
Tom
Brady will not coach. He's got to be in the booth. He's got a job.
Wouldn't that be funny?
Oh, man. Imagine him swearing at a quarterback on the sideline. Matt Patricia comes back.
Sorry, you know what you're talking about.
Matt Patricia comes back. I could listen. The best part would be Tom Brady at some point ripping the kid's helmet off and like, I'm just going in. Forget it. You're too stupid to do this. I'll run a damn offense and I'll play quarterback. There we go, Tommy.
So
come on
funny.
Back. What's your second?
Could you imagine?
I could only. It would be so bad. Your second was.
I'm still thinking about Tom ripping the helmet off. Oh, that's funny. All right. Which Bay team is more likely to advance this weekend, Green Bay or Tampa Bay?
Ooh. Tampa. I just feel like Green Bay going to Dallas. Dallas plays very well at home. Secondly, Philly's just on such a slide and the injuries. I could see Tampa Bay. So I would go Tampa Bay. Of course, right. James going to go Tampa Bay. Yeah, I'm sure. All right. I'm glad you picked that. I'm glad you said that because my split decision is this, right? More likely to be fired if they lose this weekend, Mike McCarthy of Dallas or Nick Sirianni of the Eagles?
Ooh, Mike McCarthy.
McCarthy out. James out.
And for this reason, because they would do it at home.
Mike McCarthy. Yeah, see, I think it's pretty right. It's like Dallas,
That's
pressure.
That's a gimme.
That's a
layup.
That is a pressure cooker and a half. That thing's about to just completely.
Oh, there's several games there because you think about Green Bay is going to be so loose. They have nothing to win.
Absolutely.
They have nothing to lose.
Absolutely. Nobody expected this.
No. They thought they were going to have like 2 wins this year.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's going to be so much fun. All right, Ron, it is NHL time. Great split decisions, man. This is so fun. I hope Mike gets fired if they lose. He wants Belichick so bad.
Yeah, huh?
He is like you are man crushing right now.
Well, if they wanted him so bad, they should have traded for him.
They could trade him. They're in the season. They can't.
Well, that's not my problem.
Oh my goodness. Let's
The
talk some.
little hush hush. Hey,
Ah,
hey, if you plan on getting rid of Billy,
Bill-
we'll take him.
Billy. All
We'll
right.
trade Parsons for him.
Oh, I'll do it. Let's talk some NHL. Does the Linus Ullmark injury open the door for a trade here in Boston now? The Bruins, right? We talked about the split goalie thing for a while. Swayman's getting some time now in between the pipes. Do you feel like this would be the best opportunity to Boston to really make a decision and trade Ullmark?
Well, it depends on how Swayman plays, right? And,
That's going to
and
make a big
really,
deal.
and really, it depends on how the team plays in front of him, because they haven't really been very consistent for the last month.
Yeah, and one of the questions I wanted to ask you, I think they have the most overtime losses
Oh my
in the
God,
NHL.
brutal.
What is causing that in your mind?
Lack of confidence when it comes crunch time, right? When you start to get a trend of losing those games in overtime, now it becomes a problem anytime you go to overtime.
Yeah, it's a
And
mental thing, right? And think
yeah,
about it. The loss of Bergeron, Krejci, these veterans who don't get rattled in those situations. We talked about
right.
the young kids. Now you see some of that. Like it's a tight game.
Yeah, and the
Every shot
injuries are
counts.
piling up. The injuries are
Yeah.
piling up.
So Ron, let's go back to this Swayman thing real quick. 11-3-7, 2 shutouts, 2.47 goals against so far this season, 92 save percentage.
Yeah.
Ullmark 13-5, 2-2, no shutouts, a 2.75 goals against, and a 91.5 save percentage. You could say Swayman's the better goalie.
Yeah.
So
Which
Boston's
I think
smart, right?
that's the case.
They need like you said, maybe a veteran helps with this overtime situation. If Swayman can show enough,
Yeah.
what would you want to see? Obviously, if you're saying he's good in the pipes and the guys in front of him aren't playing as well,
Yeah.
wouldn't it make sense to try to get another defenseman or somebody in front because you know this kid can still do it, Swayman?
It's to me, I think it's the forwards. I don't think it's the defensemen. I think the defensemen, there's too many 2-on-1s, 3-on-1s, breakaways, people getting beat, when they shouldn't be. Too many guys down low in the opposing end, and when that puck trickles out, then there's a fast break going the other way, and those tend to pile up, and that's what's been happening with Boston. They can play a great game, and then boom, you get that lapse, and if they're gonna have too many of those, it's not good. It's not good, and at the wrong times is when they give up those breakouts,
Yeah.
especially in overtime, and they can't control the puck, it seems like, in overtime, and that's been hurting. And it's just people not being in their right position. They're so afraid when it's 3-on-3 in overtime. They're so afraid of regrouping, like every team does. They'll bring it back out of the zone and skate back, and they'll regroup. The Bruins never do that. They try to keep it in and put the pressure on, and they make a bad play, and then it's usually like a breakaway or a 2-on-1 breakout, and that's how they lose the game. That happens a lot. So it's somebody's got to step up. And
So
I'm sorry,
let me ask you this.
it's just not happening.
Let me ask you this before we move on. Percentage wise, if Swayman plays well, Ullmark gets traded. If you
I
had to
think
put a
it could.
percent.
I think it could.
50%.
I'd say 65
So you think they would be looking at it?
because it's their best
Asset, right? Their best piece.
because they have two of them. They don't need two of them because you're going to go with one guy.
So they have 2 assets.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure I'm getting this
But
right.
it's the best one that they have as an option to trade.
Best assets they have. All right, my friend. We're getting a little silly here. We're going to go on to our pick and roll.
I missed something.
It's time for Pick and Roll.
All right. So our pick and roll tonight, we wanted to have a little fun. So there are 7 coaching positions available currently in the NFL. So we are deciding which spot would be best for Bill Belichick from Carolina, Las Vegas, Los Angeles Chargers, Atlanta, Washington, Tennessee, and Seattle. We're going to rank them from 7 to 1. Ron, again, you are first this week. Just a quick point out, our new banners up there. If you want to be a sponsor of the show, get your name right above me during each one of our segments here, and we'll definitely make sure we shout out your business. But Ron, you are first, 7 to 1. This is more just a personal opinion. There's not a lot of stats to this. So I can't wait to hear which direction you went.
All right. So number 7, I actually have Washington.
Wow.
They have Howell and Brissett and Fromm as their quarterbacks, and I don't think he can win with them. And I don't see him going there at all. I don't like the situation there, even though they have a pretty good receiver.
Yeah, McLaurin.
Yeah, but I don't think that's where he's going to go. I think that's least likely with the quarterbacks that he has there.
Okay.
Number 6, I have Tennessee. The talented players are really aging. So I don't see him wanting to retool on the offense there when he didn't do it in New England. I don't think he wants Tannehill as his quarterback or Levis. Yeah. So I think that is less likely. I mean, he has Henry there, but for how long?
Yeah, they don't know if that's going to
So I have Tennessee at number 6. Now it starts getting interesting. Number 5, I have Atlanta. And again, Heineke, Ritter, I just don't see that being a situation he wants to go to and see what happens there. I mean, he could win with them, but I don't think that's likely. I don't see it happening. Number 4, Carolina. Now, you have Young as your quarterback.
Bryce Young, yeah.
He might like him as a quarterback. And if that's the case, there's a possibility that he could go. And look, they were terrible last year, but really, I think that was more coaching. Because I thought they added a lot of pieces that could have won that division. And there might be some pieces on this team that he might like, and he might take a shot at this team.
Okay.
With Young as a quarterback,
I
think that could happen. Number 3, I have Seattle.
Wow.
I think it's just because of the talent that's there. Yes, Geno Smith is Geno Smith, and, but he can do some things. And you have a receiver over there, in case you haven't heard.
Yeah, some Metcalf guy. Yeah, he's all right.
Some guy who's pretty damn good. And I think he likes players like that. And that might be intriguing. And that could be a landing spot. But still, I see Vrabel going there.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, I have Las Vegas. I think it would just be really funny, again, going somewhere where your guy was just at and failed miserably to even control any part of that team.
Yeah.
When you look at those pieces there, you have a great receiver. You have
Max Crosby.
Yes, Crosby.
Defense. Yeah,
they've
got talent
there, and he could make that team win. So that is interesting. And there's also some guy, Garoppolo. I don't know. He might like that.
He likes Jimmy G. He's got a little.
Yes, he does.
Little thing for Jimmy.
Does. So that is highly possible. But the place I think he should go, and probably would if they offer, and that's the Chargers. I mean, that team, I don't know how they didn't. I don't even know how they didn't win the division, let alone make the playoffs. I mean, you got Herbert there. You have tons and tons of
Khalil
talent.
Mack, right? They got some
Both
good guys.
sides of the ball. There is no excuse that this team did not make the playoffs. That is just horrible coaching. Horrible coaching. I think out of all these teams, those two could be where he lands. If Dallas loses, he goes Dallas.
Okay. All right. We saw this completely different, and I love it. So I had Seattle at 7, and not because of the talent, but if you think about what they just did, they got rid of their 73-year-old coach. I don't think they're going to want to bring
followed him in New England.
Yeah, but does that make sense though? Like, hey, you're getting old. We think you're losing something. We're going to bring the guy that's the second oldest coach.
Yeah,
and bring. So I don't see it. I went Vegas at 6. And you think about the players that were there, didn't like Josh McDaniel's style, very similar to Bill Belichick. It wouldn't work. They kind of mutinied, didn't want to play, didn't play hard. I don't know if he could change that.
Josh McDaniels.
I know, but I'm just saying that's what a lot of them said. They tried to be a mini Bill and they didn't like it. And so I don't see
gotta be Bill.
I just don't see it. 5, I went Tennessee. I think the division's very tough. Houston made the playoffs. Again, a lot of money to spend. They're going to be even more improved. Jacksonville, still a good team. Indianapolis almost made the playoffs. So he's looking at it. That division might be tough for him to be able to get in and be successful. In the quarterback situation, to your point, still a little questionable. I went the Chargers at 4. And the reason I went the Chargers at 4 is he'd still have to face Patrick Mahomes to win the division, which could be very difficult. I don't know. Again, when I'm looking at this from a situation of what's my easiest ride to get to the playoffs and possibly win, anything can happen in the playoffs. We all know that. So I don't know if he'd be in a dogfight every, for the next couple of years with Kansas City. And so I think that might be difficult. I went Carolina at 3. 4th best defense last year in the league. So they got a very good defense already. Again, the organization, I think, needs a clear-cut person that runs everything because they don't have it. Dave Tepper, we talked about last week, he's throwing drinks at people and doing. They need somebody that can honestly start to show this organization how it needs to be run. And I think that would be interesting.
Carolina.
Yeah. But again, your question marks would be the draft because again, you lost that pick to Chicago. So where they pick if they even get a first round pick, I don't think they do. And then secondly, the quarterback.
They moved down anyway with Belichick.
Yeah, the second, the quarterback situation. I went Washington at 2. Number one team in cap space, $86 million. He can get some players in quick and try to turn that thing around. Issue would be, again, they got rid of some of their best defensive guys, but maybe they could bring them back on different deals. And again, he likes
credit. He's really good at spotting defensive talent.
Yeah. And again, it's an area he likes. His dad with the Navy and all that. That's where they kind of. So you may see Washington.
Did he sail the 7 seas?
I don't know. At 1 though, I went Atlanta, and I went Atlanta because it's the far easiest way for him to get to 15 wins and beat Don Shula's record because you're looking at Tampa Bay, New Orleans, and Carolina in your division. Very easily could get, if he gets he gets a quarterback in there, you get me 10, 11 wins the first year, 10, 11. Next thing you know, you're the all-time winningest coach in a division that clearly could be taken. What Tampa Bay win this? 9-7? 9? No, yeah, right. 9-8. 9-8. Last year, Tom Brady, when he was 7-10, I think it was. They made the playoffs because that division's easy to take. I think Atlanta makes the most sense for him. We've been thinking about it from the talent standpoint. He wants a team, right? Think about it from a standpoint of what's in my division. Can I beat them? Can I get 6 easy wins there? And all I got to do now, right, is get a few more. I'm making the playoffs.
Get in New England.
Right? Because all those teams, think about it. Buffalo sucked for how many years? The Jets stunk for how
Lots.
many years, right?
Lots.
Miami stunk for how many years?
Lots.
All they did is get those 6 wins there. You win 4 or 5 somewhere else. You're getting 11, 12 wins. Next thing you know, you're in the playoffs. Anything can happen. That's his best opportunity, Atlanta. As crazy as it sounds.
No, that actually, you know what? That actually sounds logical too. So, you know, it's all in what, you know, what the perspective is. And, you know, there's a lot of factors. This just goes to show you, you know, everybody's breaking down this same subject. And it'll be interesting to see where all the chips fall.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, Vrabel, Carroll, along with Belichick, are all going to be looking for a spot. Maybe even Bill O'Brien and Josh McDaniels could find a spot somewhere, maybe with Bill. So, you know, so there's going to be a lot of people looking for those spots. And then you got to throw in all those names that have been in the mix the last few years as well. So it's going to be a fun off season.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, without a doubt. All right, my friend, that is our pick and roll. It is time for predictions. Our new week has started. New year has started. That is our first results. Again, I'm a game up on you already, Ron. No, I'm not going to start.
Well, I do have to remind you this. The year I won, you started off in the lead. The year you won, I started off in the lead.
So there's no guarantees with this, but if you are joining us live as we announce the games, let us know who you would pick for the winner. We'll get your name on the list as well. Dylan had joined us last week, went 1-2. James and myself are tied. So James, if you're still live, you know, make sure you give us your picks. Kenny, hopefully you're still with us and you get on our list. All right. So Ron, first game for you, Los Angeles Clippers at the Minnesota Timberwolves. That's on the 14th.
Oh, that's a tough one. I'm going to go Minnesota though. I like Minnesota being at home, you know, that the defense and that's tough with the home crowd.
Yeah, I went Minnesota as well. Kenny's going Clippers. Minnesota, second best record at home. Boston 18-0. I think Minnesota's only lost 2 games at home. So very, very good. James went Minnesota. All right. On the 16th, Ron, we got the Denver Nuggets at the Philadelphia 76ers. I looked at a couple different things here. Big man versus big man. So that's going to be a fun matchup. Jokic versus Embiid. But Philly's actually pretty good at home. And both of these teams scoring defensively and offensively about the same. So I think the home factor will play dividends in this for Philly, and I went Philly.
Yeah, I'm going to go Denver. I don't know. I just like the team better. You know, Philadelphia is just relying all on 2 guys. And I know they're relying on your Joker, but just the Joker just does it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll take Denver.
Okay, good. On the 15th round, you got the Los Angeles Kings at the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah, Los Angeles Kings have been struggling a little bit. I'm going to go Carolina, who's been on fire the past week.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go Carolina at home.
Yeah, I agree with you. Kings 7 straight losses. So they're starting to reel a little bit. Carolina good at home. I went Carolina. Let's see what the boys here did. What you got, guys? Carolina. James. Kenny. Is he out there? Maybe not.
James, Carolina. Kenny's probably still thinking.
All right. On the 18th. Oh, Carolina. All right, Kenny. Stay with us, buddy. On the 18th, you got the New York Rangers at the Vegas Golden Knights. It's a good matchup. But Vegas very good at home. I think that again, New York traveling. I went Vegas here.
I'm going to go to the Rangers. Vegas just barely eked out a win against Boston, who has been struggling. I think the Rangers are going to catch them.
Okay. All right. It's going to be fun.
Rangers aren't going to sleepwalk.
Kenny. James went Vegas. All right, we're going to go on to the NFL. We got some, obviously, we're going to pick every single playoff game this weekend. I think that could be fun. So let's do it. Kenny went Rangers. All right. Here we go. Ron, Cleveland Browns at the Houston Texans. That's this Saturday, tomorrow night.
I'm going Cleveland. Joe Flacco is going to get it done. That defense is just too good. Too good.
Joe Flacco, we are talking about right now, and I'm agreeing with you. I think Flacco makes the difference. Kenny's going Browns. I think Houston, the experience will help, but I don't think they're there yet.
No.
Right? They kind of backed into the playoffs with Jacksonville losing. So, here comes your emojis. All right, James. James got the dog pound.
Yeah.
All right. Also Saturday, you got the Miami Dolphins at the Kansas City Chiefs.
I know there's somebody else out there watching, so come on, get your predictions in on these. Miami at Kansas City, right? I mean, how bad has Miami been lately? So I'm going Kansas City. There's no way they're winning this game. Kansas City's winning.
I went Kansas City as well. Listen, minus 30, whatever, 35 below.
Yeah, they're not.
Miami's going to struggle. I think in Kansas City's played in this kind of weather. They understand it. And Patrick Mahomes, the X factor. Kenny went Dolphins. Okay.
Well, Kenny's got the dolphin emoji.
There we go. James went KC. Couldn't put a little arrow there or something. Oh. All right. Sunday, you got the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Buffalo Bills. Is this my pick? This is my pick. I went Buffalo. I think this is clear-cut Buffalo. There's no doubt in my mind on this.
Yeah, one. This is the only game I think that wasn't any thought process into. Because the others are all in the thought process.
So you went Pittsburgh. Okay.
No, I went Buffalo.
I'll take Kenny got the wings. Buffalo wings. Kenny's got a little bit of buffalo wings, or those buffaloes? Those are buffaloes.
Yeah, they are buffalo.
Kenny, look at Kenny now. All right, Kenny. Buffalo easy, right? I think that was, like you said, out of all these games, it's probably the easiest one to pick. Ron, Saturday, LA Rams at the Detroit Lions. What do you got?
This is the most difficult one. I'm going to go Detroit. I'm not liking the pick, though.
Okay. I went Rams.
Yeah.
I went Rams. And I went Rams because of what you told me. The defense scares me. And I think Stafford could expose that.
I think he can.
I went Rams. James,
the only problem
we haven't got on that game yet, James.
Detroit can just keep scoring.
James picked the Cowboys, and we're on the Rams at Lions. Rams at Lions, James. I know you're picking the Cowboys. Lions, thank you. All right. Well, we know James's pick. Got Green Bay Packers at the Dallas Cowboys, Ron. I went Dallas. Easy.
Yeah, I went Dallas. Although this could be a disaster.
Yeah, listen, if it's a close game, I to your point, I would start to worry about my pick. But I think they blow them out. I think they, you know what I mean? I think Green Bay, good team. They're not in Dallas's class. They're not in Dallas. Yeah, they're not in Dallas's class. This should be an easy one. Kenny went to Cheeseheads. Wow. Kenny wants to see if he can have 0% for the first time to start. All right. And then Monday night, you got the Philadelphia Eagles at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Another tough one. But I'm going... I'm going Tampa Bay.
I went Tampa Bay as well. I don't like the struggling. Kenny's sipping it tonight. Yes, he is. I don't like. But Kenny went Eagles, who've lost what 5 of 6. James went Tampa at home, and you went Tampa. I went Tampa. Alex, I think Philly's a mess. I really do. All right, that
I
is our
think Baker's
prediction.
going to step up. I think he's going to. I think this is the moment. This is it. This is it. This is his career right here.
He's gonna get paid if he can win a playoff game.
Yeah.
Baker, this sets him up.
Especially this one when you're going against the team that everybody thought was going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. How do our Super Bowl picks coming off? Philly Bengals. Yeesh.
Yeah, not very good.
Not good. Not good. All right, Ron, it is time for final thoughts. Our final thoughts are basically anything we have an opinion about. Doesn't necessarily have to be sports related. But before we go into our final thoughts, Ron, do you want to tell all the wonderful people out there how they can get their name on our sponsor banner there?
Yeah, sure, Eric. I can do that. It's simple, everybody. You just have to send an email to ribroadcasting.media@gmail.com. We can send you out all the information. But really, the only information you need to know that it just costs less than going to your favorite coffee shop and buying a large coffee and a chocolate donut, and you can sponsor us, for as many episodes as you want. We can put your name, your company banner right up there. You also send us a still ad, and we pop it right up there on the screen, and we read it off so that way when we have the podcast version with just audio, they can hear it as well.
All right, my friend. Thank you. Remember to continue to support our show by liking and following us on all our social media platforms. That little banner on the bottom has been telling you how you could do that as well. Basically on everything. If you don't have time to watch, you can definitely listen to us as well. So continue to check that out as well.
Share and follow.
Share and follow, right? Tell your friends how great. Join us live. Join us live. We have a lot of fun. Kenny, James, phenomenal today. Mommy Lily, was it? Joined us as well tonight live. So thank you. Ron, it is time for final thoughts.
There's other people that are on live too as well.
Yeah, that nobody wants to talk to us. I don't get it. We're fun guys.
So are we like, disease? Fun guy? Yeah.
Oh, fun guy. Ha, ha, ha. Very good. That was a good one. Ron, your final thought.
All right. My final thought was pretty easy. Soon as it happened, I figured I should probably say something. And you probably will say something as well. I'm guessing. But you might go negative because you're the negative one on the show.
I am. Yeah.
But look, I just want to thank Bill Belichick for, all those championships and the stability that was brought to this franchise, New England Patriots, for that long. Look, we thank you. I mean, we do. I'm sure you can go on and do whatever you want to do now, but we thank you for those championships and all the stability. Still the greatest coach ever. I hated the fact that it ended like this, but it is what it is. And I moved on last year. Just saying. But, just thanks. Thanks.
No, very well said. Very well said. I'll agree with his sentiment. Thank you, Bill. My final thought is actually, I don't know if you know this gentleman's name. You probably don't. His name is Dylan Isaacs. Who's Dylan Isaacs, you ask? He's a Buffalo Bills fan that was killed by a Dolphins fan after the game on Sunday night. I guess they got into a verbal argument, and he was shot by an individual who then fled. I don't understand how and why we've gotten to this point in sports where people feel the necessity to honestly murder people. The point of sports is to enjoy it. There's joys in winning and there's misery in defeat. but it's part of a game. And we are literally killing people over games now. The man was 30 years old. 30 years old. This is not how this should have happened. From Canada, came down, loves the Bills. Regardless of what was said, did a bullet need to end his life? I don't think it did. And it's getting worse. People need to understand and understand that these are games. This isn't going to affect your life, regardless. Me and Ron are not fans of the same baseball team. There's not one point in any given time where if he said something bad about the New York Yankees, I would want to pull out a gun and kill him. It just doesn't make sense to me. These are senseless acts, though, by people that just don't understand that you need to separate yourselves. If you're getting to that point where you feel it's that important to you, you need to separate, because you realistically, you just can't mentally, understand losing. It's part of the game. It happens. You're not always going to win. Listen, we had a great run in New England. Guess what? It ended. It happens. That's part of the process. Let's just please slow down and think about what we're doing and why. Does it make sense? Dylan Isaacs and his family, our condolences, right? Really shouldn't happen. We cover a lot of sports, and unfortunately, this seems to come up a lot more lately.
Yeah, you would think Miami would be used to this stuff.
What, the losing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not like we're making a joke, but realistically, at the end of the day, right? It just happened in New England. There was a guy that, again, they got in a season ticket holder for 30 years, I think it was. Mm-hmm. And he's no longer with us because, again, we had to get into a physical altercation. I don't understand it. I just don't. There's never been a point in time where I physically wanted to hurt. You can verbally get in an argument with somebody. It happens. But that's as far as it should go, because guess what? The New England Patriots don't pay me. The Buffalo Bills didn't pay him. The Miami Dolphins don't pay you. They don't put food on your table. They don't pay your bills. They don't do anything other than bring you either joy or again, sorrow. It happens. Get over it, people. Stop. That is our show for tonight. Ron, I want to thank you, as always, for our fun on Friday nights. Every Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are live. We are fan interactive, so please join us. Follow us on all our social media platforms. And again, share this wonderful show. Get us a sponsor. I'm sure there's somebody out there that wants their business advertised. BitStars, anything you can do to help continue to support our show and make us better. James, Kenny, thank you for joining us live. As always, our number one fans, we love you guys. Thank you so much for making our show what it is today. Ron, I will see you next Friday. Can't wait. And all we ever ask for every single week is peace on earth.
Have a great night, everybody.